The Go-Giver by Bob Burg is more than just a story about business and success. It's a parable that shifts the traditional approach to achieving personal and professional goals. The book introduces a unique philosophy that emphasizes the power of giving over getting. Through a simple yet profound story, Burg reveals 5 life-changing principles known as the 5 laws of stratospheric success. These laws teach us that the secret to success and fulfillment lies not in what we get, but in what we give. The story begins with Joe, a young and ambitious sales professional who is struggling to meet his sales targets. He's eager to succeed but finds himself stuck in a cycle of chasing targets without achieving the results he desires. This frustration leads him to seek advice from Pindar, a legendary consultant known for his extraordinary success. Pindar introduces Joe to what he calls the 5 laws of stratospheric success. And over the course of the story, Joe learns to apply these laws not only in his work, but also in his personal life, leading to transformative results. The first law, the law of value, teaches Joe that true success is not about getting more, but about giving more. This law states that your true worth is determined by how much more you give in value than you take in payment. Pindar explains that your true worth is determined by how much more you give in value than you take in payment. Joe meets Ernesto, a successful restaurateur who embodies this law by constantly focusing on providing exceptional value to his customers. Ernesto's restaurant doesn't just serve food, it provides an experience that customers cherish, which in turn keeps them coming back and referring others. From the moment customers walk in, they are greeted warmly, almost as if they are being welcomed into a close friend's home. The staff is trained not just to serve food, but to engage with customers in a genuine and friendly manner. They remember regular customers' names, their favorite dishes, and even small details about their lives, like their preferred table or a special occasion they mentioned during a previous visit. The food itself is prepared with exceptional care, using high-quality ingredients that Ernesto himself often handpicks from local markets. Each dish is presented beautifully with attention to detail that makes the meal feel special. But it's not just the food that makes Ernesto's restaurant stand out, it's the entire dining experience. The ambiance is warm and inviting, with soft music playing in the background, comfortable seating, and a decor that reflects the local culture and history. Ernesto also goes out of his way to personalize the experience. For example, if a customer has a dietary restriction or a special request, the kitchen is more than happy to accommodate it, often going the extra mile to prepare something unique that isn't even on the menu. On occasion, Ernesto might personally visit the table to check on the guests, ask about their experience, and ensure everything is to their satisfaction. This dedication to creating value for his customers results in more than just a satisfied clientele. It builds a loyal community of repeat customers who feel a personal connection to the restaurant and its staff. They don't just come back for the food, they return for the entire experience, often bringing friends and family along and recommending the restaurant to others. Joe learns that by focusing on delivering value first, rather than focusing solely on making sales, he can build long-term relationships that lead to greater success. This shift in mindset helps Joe see that the value he provides must always exceed the payment he receives, whether in business or personal interactions. The second law, the law of compensation, expands on the first by teaching Joe that his income is determined by how many people he serves and how well he serves them. Pindar introduces Joe to Nicole Martin, the CEO of a successful educational software company. Nicole explains that her company's success exploded when she shifted her focus from selling to helping as many schools and students as possible. The more people her company served, the greater her compensation grew. Nicole's story illustrates that to grow one's income and success, it's essential to find ways to serve a greater number of people effectively. Joe realizes that to maximize his own success, he needs to expand his reach and serve more people, rather than just focusing on closing individual deals. He starts to think bigger, considering how he can scale his impact and serve a larger audience. The third law, the law of influence, teaches Joe that his influence is determined by how abundantly he places other people's interests first. Joe meets Sam, a financial advisor who has built a massive network by always putting his clients' needs ahead of his own. Sam's success came from constantly asking, how can I serve others, rather than what's in it for me. By focusing on helping others achieve their goals, Sam gained their trust and loyalty, which in turn increased his influence. Sam's approach is to genuinely care about his client's success, offering advice and guidance that goes beyond financial transactions. Joe learns that by focusing on helping others succeed, without expecting anything in return, he can build a network of people who are eager to support him in return. This law reinforces the idea that success is not about taking, but about giving and serving others. The fourth law, the law of authenticity, reveals that the most valuable gift Joe can offer is himself. Joe meets Deborah Davenport, a successful real estate agent who shares her story of struggling until she realized that people were drawn to her not because of her skills or products, but because of her authenticity. When she started being herself, showing vulnerability and genuine care, her business took off. The lesson here is that authenticity builds trust, and trust is the foundation of all relationships. This law teaches Joe that authenticity and honesty are more important than any technique or strategy. He learns that being genuine and true to himself is what will ultimately attract success and meaningful connections. The fifth and final law, the law of receptivity, teaches Joe that the key to effective giving is to stay open to receiving. Pindar introduces Joe to the concept that giving and receiving are two sides of the same coin. Many people struggle with receiving because they feel it's selfish or undeserved. However, to complete the cycle of giving, one must be open to receiving as well. The book uses the analogy of breathing to illustrate this concept. Just as you cannot exhale without eventually inhaling, you cannot give without being willing to receive. In both cases, the flow is essential to life. If you were to only give, exhale, and never receive, inhale, you would quickly run out of air. The same applies to the flow of value in our lives. If we constantly give but are never open to receiving, we block the natural cycle of abundance. In everyday life, the law of receptivity can be seen in how we interact with others. For example, imagine a person who is always there for their friends, offering support, advice, and a listening ear. This person is a giver in their relationships. However, if they refuse to accept help, compliments, or support from others, they are not only blocking the flow of value in their life, but also denying their friends the opportunity to give back. This can lead to imbalanced relationships where one person is always giving and the other always receiving, which can eventually cause resentment or burnout. To apply the law of receptivity, this person would need to recognize that accepting help or support is not a sign of weakness but a necessary part of maintaining healthy, balanced relationships. By allowing themselves to receive, they create a space where both they and their friends can give and receive, leading to stronger, more fulfilling connections. Joe learns that by allowing himself to receive, he enables others to give, creating a flow of abundance. This law helps Joe to understand that success is not a one-way street. It involves a continuous exchange of value where both giving and receiving are essential. As Joe starts applying these laws, he notices a profound shift in his life. Initially, Joe was a typical go-getter, focused on his own success and driven by the idea that hard work alone would get him where he wanted to be. However, as he embraced the philosophy of giving, his focus shifted from getting to giving, from self-interest to service. Joe's relationships improved, his network expanded, and opportunities began to appear where none had existed before. His sales numbers improve, but more importantly, he finds fulfillment in his work and relationships. By focusing on giving more value, expanding his influence by helping others, and staying true to himself, Joe transforms his approach to life. He builds stronger connections with his clients and colleagues, and opportunities start coming his way more frequently. The story ends with Joe not only achieving the success he initially sought, but also finding a deeper sense of purpose and satisfaction in his life. If you enjoyed this audiobook, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more engaging book summaries and insightful content. We'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment below to let us know which book you'd like us to explore next, and we'll consider it for our upcoming episodes. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to bringing you more valuable content right here on Page by Page.